All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today, we're looking at Google's LearnLM,
Ooh, yeah.
this whole family of AI models. They're designed for education, and I think this is going to be really relevant for you. I know you like to stay on top of all the latest trends, especially in AI and the future of learning.
Right.
So we've got a few sources to dig into today.
Okay.
We've got a Google keyword blog post that lays out the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got their experimental Illuminate website.
Cool.
And then we've got the more technical LearnLM page on Google AI for developers.
So we're really going to get in the weeds with this one.
We are. We're going deep. So LearnLM, what is it?
So LearnLM is fascinating because it's not just some AI that spits out answers.
Yep.
It's a whole ecosystem. It's built around how we learn best.
Okay.
And it's all tied into Google's Gemini AI.
Right, which is already making some serious waves.
That's-
So it's not just me like Googling stuff, even though Google's kind of involved.
Yeah.
What makes LearnLM different? Like, it's designed specifically for learning.
It is. Think about how we learn, out in the world.
Okay.
It's not just having information thrown at us, right?
Right.
We learn by doing, experimenting, making mistakes even.
Right.
And LearnLM really gets that. It incorporates those principles into its design.
So it's more interactive.
Yeah,
It's making me actually engage with the material, not just passively taking it all in.
exactly. So, for example, there's Gemini's learning coach, Gem.
Okay.
This is designed to prompt you.
Okay.
Like it'll say, explain your reasoning when you're doing practice quizzes.
Oh, wow.
It's not just about getting the right answer.
Right.
It's about, do you understand why it's right?
That's a really cool way to kind of reinforce that learning.
Yeah.
It's not just memorizing facts, right?
Yeah.
It's like, actually thinking about them and explaining the concept.
And that deeper level of engagement leads to better retention and understanding. Right. Another key thing is adaptability.
Okay.
LearnLM is designed to adjust, to individual learning needs and goals.
Oh. Right.
So it can cater to all different learning styles and paces.
So no more cookie cutter approach.
No.
It's like actually tailored to me.
Yes. So for instance, if you're in Google search,
Yeah.
AI overviews can be like simplified,
Oh, interesting.
or broken down. And it all depends on the user's preference.
So it recognizes that everybody learns differently.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Everyone always talks about this idea of personalized learning.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like LearnLM's actually doing it.
It is. And it goes beyond just personalizing content, too.
Okay.
LearnLM is meant to stimulate your curiosity.
Okay, that's huge. I mean, who doesn't want to actually enjoy learning, right?
Right.
So how does it do that?
Well, they have this Learn About Labs,
Oh, this is the experimental one.
Yeah, it's experimental. It uses visuals, activities, questions to guide you through topics.
Right.
It makes it feel more like exploration than traditional studying.
It's like turning learning into a game.
Exactly.
No wonder everybody is so excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like they're putting these principles into action already
They are.
in some pretty innovative ways.
Yeah, Google's incorporating LearnLM into products that you probably already use every day.
Oh, really? Like what? Give me an example.
So like Circle to Search on Android.
Okay.
You can actually use that to solve complex math and physics problems.
Oh, wow.
Even the ones with diagrams and formulas.
So I could like snap a picture of a problem and have my phone not only solve it, but break it down in a way that I can understand.
Exactly.
Okay, that's seriously cool.
Yeah.
This is already available.
It is.
And it's a huge step towards making knowledge accessible to everyone.
Absolutely.
Not everyone is a tutor or a professor.
Yeah.
But with stuff like this, complex concepts suddenly don't seem so out of reach, especially, for subjects like STEM, where visual problem solving is so important.
Right.
It's like having a tutor right there in your pocket.
It is. And it's not just limited to, math and science.
Okay.
YouTube's also using LearnLM through, Gemini's long context capabilities. So now you can actually have a conversation with an AI while you're watching academic videos.
Hello, hold on. So I can have a Q&A with an AI about a YouTube video.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Ask questions, get explanations, and even take quizzes.
It's like a personal study session with the entire internet as my library.
Right.
And the potential, it's huge.
Oh, it's massive.
It opens up all these new ways to engage with educational content, making it way more active.
Yeah.
I'm really starting to see how this could change online learning completely. But what about like denser stuff?
Yeah.
Like research papers? Those can be intimidating.
Right. And that's where Illuminate comes in.
Right.
It's an experimental tool. It uses AI to turn dense research papers into these digestible audio conversations between AI voices.
So instead of having to wade through all that jargon, I can just listen to an AI-powered summary of the main points.
Exactly.
It's like having a research assistant to break it all down for me.
Yeah.
And again, that has huge implications for accessibility, right?
Years.
Not everyone have the time or expertise to dig into those really dense research papers. Mm-hmm. But this makes those key findings so much more readily available.
Yeah.
It's like democratizing access to scientific knowledge.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm completely on board.
Yeah.
What else can LearnLM do?
Well, it's actually starting to make its way into the classroom.
Oh, really?
So Google's piloting LearnLM in Google Classroom to help teachers with lesson planning, which we all know can be pretty overwhelming.
Hold on. They're not trying to replace teachers with robots, are they?
No.
Okay.
The idea is to empower teachers, not replace them.
Okay, good.
So free up their time.
Right.
So they can focus on, what they do best.
Yeah.
Interacting with students, creating that dynamic learning environment.
So how exactly does LearnLM help with lesson planning?
Well, it can help teachers brainstorm, come up with new activities, discover engaging materials, even tailor lessons to different students' needs and learning styles.
So it's like a virtual teaching assistant.
It is.
Taking care of all those tedious parts of lesson planning.
Exactly.
Wow, that sounds incredibly helpful. It's like having a personalized curriculum designer right there. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
And, to ensure that all of this is done responsibly, Google's working with educational institutions like Columbia Teachers College and Khan Academy.
Okay, that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to have this amazing technology.
Right.
But it's another thing to actually make sure that it's being used ethically and effectively in the classroom.
Absolutely.
This is really impressive stuff.
Yeah, we've covered a lot about what LearnLM is, but I think the exciting part is really where this is going.
Right. The future.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What does the future hold for LearnLM?
The potential is massive. I mean, right now we're really just at the beginning, but think about it. A world where learning is truly personalized, where AI can actually analyze how you learn, your strengths, weaknesses, and then create like a learning path just for you.
Whoa. Are we talking like everyone has their own AI tutors? Is this like a sci-fi movie?
It might sound futuristic, but the pieces are already in place.
Okay.
LearnLM with Gemini.
Yeah.
It has access to some really powerful AI. Think about it. AI that not only processes information, but understands how you as an individual learn best.
So no more one-size-fits-all classroom. We're talking AI helps everyone learn at their own pace.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just the content, too.
Okay.
Imagine AI giving you real-time feedback, support, adapting as you go, helping you through challenges when you hit them.
That's starting to sound a lot like having a personal tutor, like 24/7.
Right.
I can see how this would be huge, especially for students who maybe don't have traditional tutoring resources.
And it's not just about formal education either.
Okay.
This opens up a whole world for lifelong learning.
Oh, interesting.
Think about like AI curating learning experiences for us throughout our lives, helping us acquire new skills and knowledge as we need them.
So it's not just about school. It's about this continuous learning and development powered by AI.
Exactly.
That's a really powerful concept. But, getting back to LearnLM specifically.
Yeah.
What are some of the concrete ways this thing could evolve? Like, what can we actually expect to see?
Well, for example, I think we can expect, more sophisticated learning tools, platforms, all powered by LearnLM. Think about virtual labs, where students can conduct experiments and simulations in a safe environment.
Oh, cool. So I could learn about chemistry by actually mixing virtual chemicals.
Exactly. Or dissect a virtual frog without, all the mess.
Oh, that's amazing. And it makes learning so much more engaging, right?
Right.
Especially for something like STEM where hands-on is so important. It can make it a lot less intimidating too. What about grading and feedback? Can AI do that?
Absolutely. AI can actually analyze student work.
Wow.
Identify areas for improvement, and even give personalized feedback.
So instead of just getting a grade on my essay, I could get specific suggestions on how to improve.
Exactly. Imagine, improving your writing style or your argumentation.
That would be incredibly valuable.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having a writing coach built right in.
Exactly.
And I bet teachers would appreciate having that too, to give more targeted feedback.
Absolutely. It frees up their time so they can focus on individual instruction and mentoring instead of just grading papers.
Right.
And it's not limited to traditional subjects either.
Okay.
Think about AI helping people learn new job skills, adapt to new tech, even explore creative interests.
So it's about empowering individuals to be lifelong learners, constantly adapting and evolving.
Exactly.
That's a really inspiring way to look at the future. But, let's be real.
Yeah.
There are always challenges. There's always downsides to new technologies.
Right. And with something as big as AI in education, we have to be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the big ones is making sure these tools are accessible.
Yeah.
To everyone. We don't want to create a situation where only certain groups have access to these resources.
Right. It's about making sure this tech actually helps level the playing field.
Exactly.
Not widen the gap between those who have and those who don't.
Absolutely. And it's also about responsible use.
Okay.
We need to think about things like data privacy, algorithmic bias,
right,
that potential for over-reliance on AI.
So it's about finding the right balance between human interaction and that AI assistance.
Yeah.
It's not just about building cool tech. It's making sure it's actually used to benefit everybody.
Right.
And that's all of our responsibility.
It is.
Not just the folks who are building the tech, right?
Absolutely. And the good news is there are so many smart people working on this.
Okay.
People who really want to make sure that AI in education is a force for good.
Okay. That's making me feel a lot more optimistic. This has been such a fascinating conversation. We've talked about what LearnLM is, how it works, its incredible potential for the future.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also important to say, it's not a magic bullet.
Of course not. AI in education is still very new. There are a lot of questions still to be answered, challenges to overcome.
But it is a technology with the power to change how we learn and how we teach. And that's really exciting.
Absolutely.
It feels like we've just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
What are you most excited to see as LearnLM keeps developing?
One thing that I find really interesting is how LearnLM could personalize learning on a much deeper level. Right now, we see it personalizing content and pacing.
Right.
But imagine AI that understands your cognitive processes, your learning style, even your emotional state,
Wow.
And it adjusts the learning experience to that.
So it's not just what I'm learning, but how I'm learning, in that moment.
Exactly.
If I'm getting frustrated, the AI could pick up on that.
Yeah.
And maybe suggest a different approach.
Right. Or offer encouragement,
That's really cool.
It's creating a learning environment that's truly responsive. And think about, students with learning disabilities.
Oh, yeah.
AI could really pinpoint what they need and offer that support in a way that regular classrooms sometimes can't.
That's a game changer. It feels like we're talking about a totally new way of thinking about education.
It is. It's a paradigm shift. We're moving from this one-size-fits-all approach to a future where learning is personalized, it's adaptable, it's accessible, and LearnLM is right at the forefront of all that.
Okay, so let's say I'm a teacher listening to this. How do I even begin to use these ideas?
Mm-hmm.
Is this something I can actually do right now?
Well, LearnLM itself is still in development. It's not widely available. But the ideas behind it, teachers can start using those now.
Okay.
It's about understanding different learning style, active learning strategies,
right,
creating a classroom where curiosity and exploration are encouraged.
So less rote memorization and more focus on understanding and engagement.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people are probably wondering about the role of the teacher in all this.
Yeah.
Does AI... we don't need teachers anymore.
Not at all. In fact, I think AI actually makes teachers even more important.
Really?
Think about it. If AI takes on more of the routine tasks, teachers are free to focus on things AI can't do.
Okay.
Mentoring, fostering critical thinking, really creating that dynamic learning environment.
So it's less about, delivering information and more about being a facilitator of learning.
Right.
I like that.
It's using tech to enhance that human connection, not replace it.
That's such a key point.
It is. AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used in many different ways. It's up to all of us, educators, parents, even just citizens, to make sure that it's used ethically, effectively, for good in education.
Well said. This has been such a fascinating deep dive into LearnLM. We've gone from looking at what it can do right now to imagining a future where learning is truly personalized, engaging, and available to everybody.
And that's a future worth working towards.
It really is.
Yeah.
So if you're as fascinated by LearnLM as we are, let us know. We want to hear what excites you most about the future of AI in education. Head over to social media and share your thoughts using #LearnLMDeepDive. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing and stay curious.